We are so excited today. We have big news coming from the University of Texas here in San Antonio, UTSA. I have two incredible guests with me who will be playing on this beautiful SKEX from Shigeru Kawai. We are so excited. Stick around. You won't want to miss their playing and the big announcement here at UTSA. Hi, this is Patrick Marr with Alamo Music Center in San Antonio, Texas. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channels, check out our other videos, sign up for notifications, like our videos, leave us comments. We appreciate your support. We love to interact with you. Today, we are on the campus of the University of Texas in San Antonio. I'm joined by two incredible guests. I have Dr. Kassandra Keeling and Kieley Morales, a graduate student here who's finishing up her last year. And so I'm very excited to have you guys both here. Thank you for joining us in this kind of unique, special video that we're doing. And so, Dr. Kassandra Keeling, you have been with the school for how many years?
I'll start my 22nd year.
22nd year. That's incredible. And here at Alamo Music, we've been, in town for a very long time, but your relationship with, Adriana and with some of the people at the store has been a very special one to us, and you're very highly spoken of in the community as not only an incredible professor and teacher, but as a player and a musician. And so we're excited to hear you play today. And I think we're in for a very, very special treat. I heard you playing a little bit earlier. And so tell me a little bit about your experience here at the University of Texas in San Antonio. Where have you seen the program come from, and where has it been in the last 5 to 10 years? And then what do you see on the horizon? Because I know there's a big announcement coming.
Right. Well, I grew up in San Antonio, so I came to UTSA for piano competitions and piano camp in the summers, so I had a relationship with this school long before they hired me 22 years ago. And when I first arrived at UTSA, I would say the growth from that point to now has been pretty incredible, not just in the number of students, but in the quality of students. And so that has been an incredible sort of growth that we've seen over the years. And, in the future, well, what I would love to see more of, we hear this a lot, that the department is the best kept secret around. And I'd like to be able to maybe move away from that.
A more well-known
let's let people know about us a little bit and what we're doing here and the incredible students. And I would love to see the community just pouring onto campus for events and supporting our students. It's why we're here.
And UTSA made a big, there's a big announcement. I think it was in May. They were recognized as a Tier 1 school now.
Right.
Which is huge news here in Texas.
Right.
And then here in September, and when this video will be going live, there's a big announcement. This has been the Department of Music.
Right.
But it's actually switching over to the School of Music.
Right.
And what is that? So what is that, in your experience, what does that mean for the school?
Well, I think it's just recognizing sort of the level of what we do here. And in terms of, the administrative part, I don't know as much about that, but I do know that other schools that are like us in size, they're already schools of music. And I think it's really time that we follow suit, that we are also recognized in that way.
Super exciting. And we're excited to help UTSA along the way in any way we can. I know, many generations before me, there's been a scholarship set up in Alamo Music's name, and that relationship is near and dear to
long-standing
to our founder, and so it's just important to us, and we're super excited to see that growth, because it really is. This is a cornerstone of the community here in San Antonio.
Right. So we strive to be. We hope that the community will come out more. UTSA, when it was built, it was so far out, away from everything. And so now that the city has kind of grown around it, I really feel like it's time for us to be sort of a destination for the community.
Exactly, and so it's super exciting to see what's on the horizon for the School of Music here at UTSA, and just where that where that's going to be, and what in the next 5 to 10 years where we'll see that in the growth, and so that's very exciting. Kieley, it's a pleasure having you here because you have actually been a graduate student with the Department of Music and will be here, right in the infancy of the School of Music and the announcement. So tell me about your experience here. Tell me about the growth that you've personally had here and your relationship, I think, with Dr. Keeling. Just expand on that for me.
Absolutely, thank you. So I grew up here in San Antonio as well. I came here probably when I was 6 or 7 and met Dr. Keeling for the first time. So I also did lots of piano competitions that were held here on campus. And I think I just always knew I'd come to UTSA at some point. I didn't end up doing my undergraduate studies here, but after I finished my bachelor's degree, my husband and I moved back here, and I started my master's program here in the fall of 2020, and I should be graduating this spring in 2023. A couple of just the things that I have really loved about being at UTSA just include the overwhelming amount of support that the faculty give its students. You just can tell that the faculty just are absolute cheerleaders for their students. They absolutely just want the best for them. They want to help us succeed in any way that we can while we're in school and even afterwards as well, and really pursuing our careers as in music as professionals once we leave the school. Something that I've also really appreciated because I'm very much a non-traditional student. I attend part-time. I'm married. I have 2 kids. I work a full-time job, so life is crazy. And I've really appreciated how accessible the School of Music has made it for me to still go to school and finish my degree and be a student, even with all the other things going on in my life. My husband's actually also a student here at UTSA. He's not a music major. But he's finishing his degree, and that's something just about UTSA as a whole that we've absolutely loved, that even as non-traditional students, we can still have a good family work-life balance and be able to go to school.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Does your husband play any instruments?
He does not,
Oh, wow.
but since being married to a musician, he can finally tell if something's out of tune or not.
That's a skill that a lot of people don't have, actually. They think a piano's broken if it sounds funny.
Yeah.
And your kids, are they going to be musicians one day?
We'll see. They're definitely taking piano, though.
I have a son, and I'm like, every day we sit at the piano. He's 4 months old, though. You sit at the piano, and I just have him bang on the keys.
Yeah.
It's fun. And so that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, no, San Antonio and the community here is I think unlike any other city I've ever lived in, where and when you're talking about the professors and the support network here, it seems like that is something that is about the community of San Antonio, and it lives here at UTSA as one of the cornerstones of the community, and so that's good to hear and very exciting. And so you guys are going to be playing, and we're going to listen to you guys play here just in a second, but you guys are going to be playing this wonderful instrument. I've had the pleasure of playing it a couple times myself. It is just a monster of a piano. They only make 11 of these every year. So it's called an SKEX. It's from Shigeru Kawai. The artisans that put this together, there's no time constraint on them putting it together. So, they're having a bad day. They say, don't touch the piano. Don't, just make sure you're in the right mindset, because they really are striving to make a perfect piano that can help a player express themselves to the best. They're like, what if if money wasn't an option, how do we make the best instrument? And so I'm excited to hear you guys play on this. And we will listen to you both play a piece, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about those pieces.
Okay.
So I hope the recording does it justice. That was incredible playing, sitting in the auditorium here. It really is just a magical space. You hear a lot of resonance. You hear just a lot of expression in the pieces that both of you played. And so I'm gonna ask you, which pieces were you playing? So we have the titles of them and maybe why you chose them or why they're special to you.
Right. The piece that I played was called Blue Wave, and it's by a composer named her name is Hee-young Yang, and she's a Korean composer, and it is based on the folk tune Arirang, which is a Korean folk tune. I did a recital that was based on music that was based on folk tunes. Okay. And so I pulled from that recital because I really enjoy playing her piece. It feels a lot like playing Debussy.
Okay, yeah. Like no, it was super expressive. I mean, I love the crossover. The expression in that piece is it's fun. It's like it's lively and I think it was very evident how,
it feels very good under the hand. It's very pianistic.
And it's funny when we were playing the piano, we all were talking with the way we set up the lights. There's some shadow. It looks beautiful in here. I was like, wow, it's gorgeous in here. But just with performances like this, sometimes lights can get in the way of a performance. But you guys sounded incredible. And so what piece did you play, Kieley?
So I played a Scarlatti Sonata in C sharp minor. It's one that I've been working on this past semester with Dr. Keeling at UTSA. I originally picked some Scarlatti sonatas to work on because when I came here, I hadn't really done a whole ton of Scarlatti, so I felt like that's something I should do. Mm-hmm. So I picked it because it's not very well known, and I heard it and I was like, that's kind of quirky. Sure, let's go with that one. It's not very well known. But as I've worked on it, we definitely have kind of brought it to life. Mm-hmm. It's been kind of fun taking the piece apart and kind of putting it together like a puzzle. Because definitely the first few lessons we had, we were just like, this is kind of odd. Not quite what you expect from some other Scarlatti. It doesn't quite make sense the first time, but it's been a fun project kind of piecing it together.
I think that's awesome because I think to a lot of people, they're like, oh, they're just playing the thing on the paper. They're just reading the notes and it's just, they're following directions. But really, when you're performing, when you're playing, it's all about the expression of how the piece speaks to you, how the piano speaks to you, and then when you dissect it, like you're saying, you can really kind of piece it back together in a way that is yours, and it's like it forever ties you to that music. And so I heard that in your piece. It was very special. And so I could tell while you were playing, it was just something that was near and dear to you. It was incredible. You killed it on the first time, and it was great to listen to and to hear. And so that's very special. One question I just want to, maybe a fun question. What do you guys listen to for fun? Like in the car, what is playing on your radio? Or is it talk? Or is it NPR? Is it music?
I would say a combination of those things. I've been listening to some of the Clyburn piano competition that was happening in Fort Worth. Of course, everything you can listen to all the recordings now. So I've been listening to some of that, and then I listen to some podcasts too. Right now, I'm listening to the West Wing podcast. Okay. And so it just depends on what kind of mood I'm in.
And when you listen to like the pieces from the Clyburn competition, do you like listen with kind of I don't want to say judgy, but do you listen with I'm listening?
It's hard not to. It's hard not to. Of course, when it's music that's very familiar, it's very hard not to listen in that way. So sometimes I like to listen to music that I don't know as well. It's a little bit more enjoyable. Mm-hmm. You can just kind of take it in, and that's a cool piece, and that's a neat part. It's harder with the standard literature. Yes, absolutely.
And does anything ever like surprise you? Like how are you ever like a piece that you're very familiar with? Does it ever just like, oh wow, that was surprising.
Well, yeah. The winner of the Clyburn played Rachmaninoff Third, which is one of my favorite pieces. And no, he did many things that a lot of people don't do. Okay. Things that are in the score, but the piece is so difficult that you always forgive. Okay, they didn't bring out that voice. That's okay. Mm-hmm. It's already so difficult. But then he was doing all of these things. I thought, oh my God, I've never heard somebody actually bring that out. Okay. That's amazing. So you appreciate it on a different level when someone does take. Yeah, I mean, take that time.
That's very cool that you can listen to that discerning of an ear.
He was amazing.
And what's on the radio for you?
My guilty pleasure is old country music.
Okay.
So
how old?
I just love George Strait.
Okay.
George Strait. I love Brad Paisley, Garth Brooks. Okay. Yeah, that's what's on my radio when I get in the car.
Okay, Brad Paisley.
Guys aren't that old.
I was like,
I know.
there's like old country. And I actually went to Belmont in Nashville, and Brad Paisley went to school there, and he like always comes and talks, and so like it was interesting. But yeah, just incredible guitar player, and really, sometimes people are like, oh, he's in that kind of pop country, but he really is a musician at heart, and he's like, there's studios at the school I went to, and he was always just in the studio all night long, just recording, like having fun. So that, yeah, I mean, I love old country, George Strait. I love, go back further, John Prine, the old 70s, 80s country. It's a lot of fun. And when you listen, did you have a hard time listening to competition pieces as someone who's probably performed in a lot of competitions?
Yeah, I feel, again, kind of like Dr. Keeling said, it's hard not to listen in a very critical, I don't know if critical's, yeah, I guess critical way. When you're listening to pieces that you're very, very familiar with. So for me, I'm like, I kind of like to separate my work and my play. So I listen to my fun country music because it's just easy to listen to, and because if I listen to things that I'm more familiar with, I find myself
You're working.
I'm working.
You're not having a good time.
I'm working. And
that's kind of what I wanted to get.
Yeah.
It must be kind of like work to listen to music, like listen to familiar pieces, and so so that's interesting because a lot of us will just enjoy music, and we try hard to criticize, but we're at this level. But so very exciting. Thank you guys for talking with me today. And we're so excited again for the School of Music here at UTSA. Big announcement here in September. And so, we thought we'd come and do something special. It was great to hear you on this piano. It played incredible and sounded incredible. And, it was just a special treat to hear both of you guys play today for us. So thank you guys for joining us. Again, please make sure you're subscribed so that we can bring you guys great content. We will make sure that on Alamo Music, we are, highlighting some of the UTSA performances that are coming up, especially here with the School of Music. It will be exciting to see kind of what's on the schedule for great players, and the faculty and the students here are going to be playing on some fantastic instruments. So we're very excited to hear it. Thank you guys for watching. Again, you can find us online at alamomusic.com. This is UTSA here. Check them out online to make sure you're up to date on the new School of Music here. It's a really big announcement, and the Tier 1 school status for the University of Texas in San Antonio. Thank you guys for watching.